guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at some Arbonne Huns. They are going to tell us how Arbonne is different for them. They're going to be comparing it to their previous company. I can't wait to hear the big differences they're going to be because not all MLMs are the same. And maybe that's true. Some are worse than others. Just a heads up, this is a quite lengthy call. So if there's any stuff that I don't feel like talking about and isn't important for context, I'm going to skip it.
We both were with a previous network marketing company together, and we were both very successful with that. But we also, since we are best friends in real life, like we talk to each other every single day, we were very much just like, this cannot be it. Like, this can't be what it's really supposed to feel like. And I will speak for both of us.
I was gonna say, like, let me just like dive into how we were feeling, because I feel like if you don't share that, that's the important part.
Okay.
But there were many times when, so she said it, we're very successful in our businesses. We hit the top of the company. If you were looking from the outside in, you would be like, oh my gosh, they've got it going on. But we would cry. We would call each other and we were just like, something is not right. Like, this is not how it should feel. We're at the top of the company. Like, why are we not feeling fulfilled? Why do we feel like we're trying to beg and drag people to like want to do this with us? And we would literally like call each other and be so like either on the verge of crying or just be like, okay, well, what little side thing could we do?
Yeah.
Like, not step away from our company, but what side thing could we do to maybe make us feel a little bit better?
Yeah. And I think sometimes,
or maybe don't seek fulfillment in your life all from one place. It's okay to feel fulfilled through multiple different avenues. Your job doesn't have to be the thing to do that, if that makes sense. Sometimes a job is just what you do to make money and you fulfill your life in other ways. And I think that's okay. It's also okay to change jobs, but in the context of an MLM, obviously it's different.
marketing, and then they find something else because it's a passion project. But the reason they say that a lot of the times is because like what you are doing all the time isn't fueling you. It's not actually getting your passion. You are literally showing up, what I feel like, very robotic and like doing what you're supposed to do, what you think you're supposed to do. Anyway, but like you get very like sidetracked because you're like, but wait a second, like this isn't making me feel my best and I want to. So we both were like, okay, what can we do? And like, I mean, that's honestly one of the reasons I started my podcast. And you guys, I started my podcast a long time ago because it was like these little inklings. Like, I know they're dips, they're valleys. Like, I understand it's not supposed to be
it's supposed to happen, right? Like, valleys and hills are going to happen no matter what you do. But we were to the point where we were literally just like, something is wrong. Like,
yeah. And we had tried
we didn't start a network marketing company. I say this a lot these days, but like, I didn't start a network marketing company to be miserable and to not feel good. Like, I started this because I want the freedom. I want the excitement. I want the love. I want the fun. And like, I will say when we both started, I know like, well, you had done it a year or so prior to when I started. And when we ran together, we did love it. Like, there is not a point where we're like, oh, we never loved this, because we did.
Right.
We loved it and it fulfilled us. But it's kind of one of those like, oh, how do we get back to that? And
well, it was like if our foot wasn't on the gas all the way, all the time, like if we were not going hard, it felt like what we were doing was literally spinning our wheels. And then we were like, but we kept kind of, I would say, like being promised, but being led to believe that if you do this, then you're going to feel better. So once you get to this rank, it's going to be easier. Once you have this many people on your team, once you make this much amount of money, like, oh, don't worry, just wait, just hustle until you get to here. And then you're going to see fulfillment. So we both, like, I would feel like would almost, yeah, well, like we would almost like get ourselves by and think of things like twiddle your thumbs until you get to mile number 2. Like, we would just think of things to get us, to push us to get to where the happiness was. And I think we both had done it long enough that we were like, okay, like, but it's not actually happening. We loved our journey along the way, but we very much were like, we were waiting for the happiness to show up. We were waiting for the freedom. And it truly came down to like, we had a situation where we were working super hard and we were revamping everything, doing a lot of work behind the scenes. And I say a lot of work.
And that's like what we had to do, which I'll let you get back to that story, but we had to do that a lot. It was like, okay, we're not feeling the fire. What can we do better? Like, what can we do better to make it better? Then everyone else will want to do it. And so we were constantly trying to, and I'm going to sit here and tell you before she tells the story, it's not supposed to feel that way. Like, you shouldn't have to be revamping 24/7. Like, that's actually not normal, which we didn't know any better. But
interesting, because that's exactly how me and a lot of people on my team when I was in It Works felt. We always felt like we were revamping, trying new things, but at the same time you would still have people saying, don't try to change the wheel. What is it? The direction of the wheel? I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say.
You can go on with that part.
You really didn't. Like, once you know better, you do better. So we were like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And we had both invested lots of money into our own course, like a course where we were learning from. And so we were like, okay, we're going to basically regurgitate this into them. They're just lacking belief. So then we were like pouring ourselves out. And we had a situation happen where it was an exact exhibit A of what we were talking about. Someone who just truly didn't love what we were doing and telling us how terrible we were at our job. And it was like, I called her and I was like, this ain't it. This ain't it. And it started a conversation where we were bawling because this can't be really what it is. And honestly, a 45-minute phone call, and we completely turned our decision around. And like, we both have preached this for so long. You can convince yourself of anything. And we both were just like, if we've done it once before, we can do it again. It wasn't
our company.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, our company, like the previous company that we were with, it has a lot of pressure. And for us, like, we probably put a lot of pressure on ourselves, but I know, having conversations with other people in that company, there's a lot of pressure on you to help others be successful. And it was like, that's what we wanted more than anything. Like, we both, I know, speaking for both of us, like, we just want to help other women, like, find their passion, be their absolute happiest. And so that's what we were trying so hard to do. And when she got a message that was literally the opposite of, like, you aren't doing enough, yet we were pouring our hearts and souls, like, literally all the time to make it better for them, to get that message, we were like, no, this is not how it's supposed to feel. Like, we should not have this pressure and do all of this just to get, and you know, like, it's one person, but it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, it's a snowball effect. Like, it just keeps happening. People are quitting, people are leaving, you know, clients are telling you that you're not doing a good enough job. And it's like, oh, no, like, I'm literally pouring my heart and soul. Like, this is not what it should feel like. And so, like she said,
it'd be one thing if we were like, you know, showing up half the time, but we were like, we take this very serious. Like, this is our career, this is our livelihood. And it wasn't like we were showing up half the time. It was a lot of heart and soul was pulled into it. But I will say, like, that's a lot of time. All of that is to say, I won't tell both of our story like super long and drawn out, but I had tried Arbonne before, and I was using their skincare products, and I had been like having this doubt a little bit. So I was like, all right, I've tried this, I tried that. So when we talked on the phone, I'm like, friend, I'm just telling you, like, we can do better than this. Like, we can do better than this feeling. I don't know if this is the exact answer. I don't know if this is going to change everything or not, but I also know that we can't keep doing this. And it was literally a phone call. And we were like, we got to do something. And that's where it all started for us. And this weekend, what you saw was something from us. Like, we started in June of this year, and we went 100% balls to the wall. There was no kind of, sort of, a little bit. We both left
like, not that we have to, but we have to. Like, this is our life. And
this is our livelihood. This isn't a hobby.
Seriously. Yeah.
Yes. This is what we love to do. But the cool thing was, we actually love doing this. I love what we get to do. And so this past weekend, what you saw were people.
I always wonder, when people go from one company to another, if it's not the same kind of company. I'm not sure what company they were in before. I can try to find out though. But like, if you go from a health and wellness company to a like skincare makeup company, like if you went from Beachbody to Rodan and Fields, would you have to cancel? I don't know what the compete clause is for either one. In my company, it works. It used to be that you just couldn't be in another health and wellness MLM, but I think you could do like another MLM, just not a health and wellness one. But I wonder if when they go from one MLM to something that's completely like a different kind of product, if they have to cancel their accounts and stop receiving paychecks from that old company, or do they wait till the company catches up and finds out? Like, how does that work? Or do they just like cut it off their earnings and move to a different company? I don't know. Wish they'd talk about that.
Excited to also jump in and do this with us by us sharing our story. It wasn't us going out and being like, oh my gosh, you should join me. What happens when you find a product that you love and you want to shout it from the rooftops? You literally do not care who likes it, but you love it so much that you're going to share it at the chance that someone else is going to like it. And that's what we both have done. And we have been brave and courageous. I'm just going to go here. I'm brave and courageous in sharing our previous story of talking about things that a lot of people won't talk about, of how they felt not good about themselves, how they've been chasing happiness, they've been chasing freedom and not being delivered it, and then making themselves feel like they're not enough if
Making
they're not
themselves
somebody,
think that they're the problem. Like,
yeah, and if they're not
so many
someone
girls we
that
talked to this weekend
is like a hot spot, if they're not a part in their
Can she let her friends speak, please?
you are not somebody that they need to rank advance, or you are not someone who is important to them for their rank, you are not talked to. And we both know that feeling. We literally know exactly what that feels like. And I also know that myself, I wasn't the best person when it came to certain times like that, because you were taught that.
Because that's what you're taught. And like our previous company is very dependent on, you cannot be successful.
It's not just their previous company. It is multiple companies. We were taught the same thing and it works.
Unless the people underneath you are successful. Like if the people underneath you are not ranking up, you're not ranking up. And so if you are desperate to make this work and this is your livelihood, it's like, I am so dependent on these people below me to see success. And so when someone below you is running and like doing the things,
please hold. I have to go see if my package is here. I'm always nervous someone will steal stuff.
You're going to be giving them attention. And it's not that you would purposely not give others attention, because we truly do. We love people so hard, but it's like,
Literally,
this is our life. And so it's like, we're focusing on them, and you don't ever want to disclude some, or whatever that word is, like exclude someone. But when your business relies on this person, it's like, that's just how it is. And like, we were talking this weekend, we're like, oh my gosh, we hate that happened, because so many of our...
I'm sorry about the bottom girl's audio. I'm also sorry about my own audio. It's not the greatest, but hers is worse. So sorry about that. It's not me. It's just how their live is being recorded. I think it's like her connection or something.
Girls this weekend also came from the previous company, not even on our team, but that's how they felt. And they're like, I felt like I didn't matter. I felt like I didn't belong. And with you guys, literally, you guys, every single person matters. With Arbonne, every single person matters. It doesn't matter if your people underneath you are ranking up. What matters is that you're...
So is she saying throughout the whole company that's how people are treated, or just on the team that they're on? You gotta wonder, because I would like to think that in any MLM there's like general stigmas, of course, and then there is the way each individual runs their team. But I feel like that would be with any company, so why didn't they just join a different team? I don't know.
You're showing up, and that those people are showing up and sharing what they love. Like, they do not have to rank up for you to rank up.
And I want to share how.
Up.
I want to share how, because a lot of you guys were asking questions of like, hey, how does this work? And like, here's a thing, and this is like, it's going to blow your mind, because it truly blew our minds. And it was one of the biggest.
It sounds too good to be true.
It really does.
It does. But it is
so
like,
for us, literally, thank you, God. It was one of the biggest deciding factors for us, because we were like, we both know, like, I'm going to work no matter who's showing up. And so our company now with Arbonne, it is a volume-based business. And that means one product matters just as much as 500 products. So you don't treat someone differently because they're only ordering this. And I know, and I'm going to go ahead and speak for you too, Kinsey, that like when you would have interactions with people and they would tell you like, no, I'm not interested in your package, we would be like, oh, fine, I guess I'll just get you this. And I look back and I'm mad at myself. But it's like, when that's what you know and that's what you're taught, you literally can't help to teach that way. It's just like, you know, a lion is taught to animals. It's not like it wants to, but that's just what it's taught. And for us, it was like, oh, all that
isn't it instinctual? They're not going to choose to be a vegan.
Was get them set up with one certain way. And that's what we knew. And it was because that's what helped you make you and be successful. And then you taught your people that. You literally don't know what you don't know. And with this business, everything is volume based. And I saw somebody ask, like, how do you rank up if you don't have a team? Well, this is the thing. Having a team is awesome and incredible and super helpful, because then you don't have to do as much
everything
work because you
yourself.
can help them. Because you guys, you can build a house by yourself, but it's so much easier when you've got a team of people building a house with you. With everything being volume based, the way that you rank up is literally sell product, help people get set up with products that are meeting their needs. You have a conversation with them and you're like, what do you want to work on? And then you
Because,
pick and choose.
Arbonne has everything. Arbonne has makeup,
Like
and
literally
skin
everything.
care, and body care, and men's care, and baby care, and health, and it's like, it's all so good.
It's all the things that we genuinely love, and it like fit our lifestyle. But the, like, to get back to what we were saying of like, you help people. That's how you rank advanced. Like you rank advanced or get up in the company or whatever you want to call it.
You help your people help people, because
Yep.
it's like I look at my team, and if someone only celebrates a lip oil and a fit, like if she only sells a lip oil and a fizz, I am celebrating her. Like,
Yep.
I am not like, oh, you should have went for the whole package. I am like, I am so freaking proud of you, because every single thing counts.
Okay, and something they used to do in my company, they would shout us out for any sale. So any customer that we would enroll, we got a shout out in our Facebook group, and you get that little shot of dopamine that I honestly lived for, because who doesn't like being told your months and months of work finally paid off and you enrolled one person? It's so sad. But when you would sell a like package that had a really high amount that you would get paid off of, you would get an even more excited and ecstatic like post made about you, congratulating you. And obviously that would feel even better. But they're gonna celebrate you regardless. Like,
Counts. And like, for them, I know for my girls specifically, and I know for your girls too. Obviously, I just spent the whole weekend with them. I know. But like, just being able to genuinely, like she said, meet people where they're at and help people, that's what fulfills us. I think more than anything is to just be able to help so many people in so many different ways. And for our girls and ourselves who are not feeling the fulfillment with our previous company, or we're not feeling like we mattered, when we are able to help someone with a lip oil and fizz, we're like, oh my gosh.
And I think it's truly, it's like a gateway too. It's like there's two perks to it. So number one, it feels so good to meet people where they're at, to be like, okay, what are your goals? What do you want to spend? What do you want to work on? And then you help them and you do that for them. But because that literally is so easy, it's duplicatable. So that when your girls sign up, and 99.9% of all of our girls who were there signed up as preferred clients first. They literally got the product. They were like, holy crap, this is incredible. Can I share this? Like, can I become a consultant? That's literally that's how we start all of our girls. Because here's the thing, you do exactly what you said. You have to love this product. You cannot just want success. You cannot just want to be an influencer. If you don't love and believe in what you're selling, people won't love and believe in you. And that's what we are like, listen, we've chased success before. We're not doing it anymore.
I don't think that's true at all, because I've seen those videos where they talk about like influencers who never even tried the products and they push them and people buy them, and then the influencer never even used them in the first place, but they acted like they did. If you're working your MLM online, which most are nowadays, you can literally fake everything. These hunts could be fucking lying right now about everything. Their whole life could be a lie that they portray online. I don't know. Hopefully they're not doing that, but you could. And you don't need to be obsessed with the MLM and the products to be successful. MLMers will leave their company and say, oh, I just wasn't passionate about the products anymore. And it's like, what?
We are going to attract it. And that's what we have done. And I know that wholeheartedly for both of us. We're just like, you know what? I love this fizz. And what happens is, y'all who are watching us, you're like, all right, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know how you're so happy or whatever, but like, I guess I'll try this fizz, or the mind health, or the gut health, whatever it looks like. And then you physically feel results. And you're like, you mean I don't have to want to take a nap every single day at 2 p.m.? You mean I don't have to deal with stomach issues and gut issues every single morning when I wake up? Because that was me. Like, I literally all the time felt that. And it's so crazy to me that it does. It feels like it's not real whenever we talk about like the way that we have grown. One of the biggest questions that I said, repeat questions, I guess, is like, how big of a team do you have? I honestly mean it when saying like, I don't know, because I just welcome it all. Like, I'm like, girl, you want to do this? Awesome. Let me help you. It's no longer like, I need 12 people. So I need to get 12 people.
I was going to say, like, and I know, like, I don't want it to sound bad, but it's like we are not begging people. Like, you know, with our previous company, it was like, oh, just work this, just work this, just work this business with us. And with this, we are just, I feel like it's just because we are so genuinely happy and we do so feel so good. And then our customers feel good. They want to work it. Like, we have not begged people to show up. And that is what drained us so much. Like, with our old company is like just begging people to show up and like begging people to sit with us. And like this weekend when we had all of those girls there, it literally like we shared a room. We're like laying in bed till 2 a.m. I'm like, it feels like a dream. Like these girls
it
like
really like over and over and over. We're like, is this real? Like, is this real? And the best part was like how appreciative they were, because 90%, I mean, I think almost every single person that came from there came from our previous company, and they were not from our team previously. Yeah. They were just like, this is so different. And I will say that's probably the biggest question that we both have received this weekend. How was it different?
I don't know how to tell you it's different. It is so hard to put into words.
Yes, it is. It is a multi-level marketing company. For someone just asked, is it a multi-level marketing? It is Arbonne, yes. And we absolutely love it. It's changed both of our lives in a very short amount of time.
Isn't it funny that they have to, when someone asks that, they automatically jump to defense mode. They can't just say, yes, it's Arbonne and move on. They have to go, and we love it. And it's completely changed our lives. I love when people ask that though, because that way other commenters can go back and see.
No, that's such a harsh thing to say. It's given us belief. And that right there, it does not have to be the thing that changes your life, but if it is a thing that gives you belief, it trickles into everything. It trickles into your marriage, into how you talk to your kids, how you have relationships with people.
I have to bring up a story that one of the girls was telling us, because sometimes you'll think it's you. Like, say you tried a company and you were not seeing success and you were not helping people. I know, like, one of our girls there, she was like, I didn't feel like I mattered. I didn't feel like I was good at this. I didn't feel like I was cut out for this because I never like really ranked up. And now she's in the second level of Arbonne and literally helping so many people and seeing success. So it's like, if you're just sitting there and maybe you're in a company, maybe you're not, but you're just like, I don't know, like that, I'm not super successful. Well, it might not be you. Like, it's 99% not you. It's just the vessel that you're in is not allowing you to be. And that's like why we love this so much, is because it literally allows everybody to be and see success. Like, if you're going to show up to work, you're going to have success. Like, you know what I mean?
It's an effort-based business, and it comes down to like, it's up to you. Like, how much are you willing to work? How much are you willing to decide that this is what you're going after? And for us both, like, showing up on social media isn't hard for us. And I understand that there are a lot of people like that, they struggle with that feeling. But here's what I want to remind you is, like, people are going to love you for the same reason they hate you. And they're going to hate you for the same reason they love you. So what happens if you just showed up as yourself and you shared why you love the product that you're using and the problem that you're solving? And that's what we have done time and time again, over and over and over. You may think that makeup isn't a big deal, but to a mom who's just feeling run down and tired and wore out, a 5-minute face picks up your attitude. And when your attitude is better, you're like,
it looks so good. You guys, I put makeup on at like 6 a.m. I went and did a CrossFit workout, and I kept that. I know it's kind of gross because I didn't shower, but I kept that same makeup on for our party. Like, we were like, oh my gosh.
It literally was like, it looked so good. And I think that's what I love about that, is that it's not one avenue. It's not just like, you have to be this, you have to look like this. There is not a one thing that is for Arbonne. It's like, you decide what Arbonne is for you. That's what you decide.
Everybody, yep. Because when we went like a few weeks ago, or almost a month ago now, we went to Arizona for a retreat. Y'all, you walk into that room and there are women who are 70 years old. And I think the youngest was probably like 20, 21. And it's like, Arbonne is for everyone. Yep. It is literally, if you just like, okay. And you know, we have girls who are like, I'm not so much into the makeup, but give me all the health benefits. Like, give me all the health things. And it's like, that's your lane. Like, go with that and run with that. And it's like, we have girls who are like, I'm not so into the health stuff, but like, love the makeup. And it's like, well, run with that. And I think that's why I know that's why we both love it so much, is because we get to help so many different people. We're not just the fitness girl. Like, we literally just get to be who we
get to be ourselves. And like, fitness is very much such a big part of my life. Like, I'm obsessed with CrossFit, love it so much, but I love that I get to be myself, because I have been a makeup girl since I was probably 10 years old. And it's like the fact that I get to have all avenues and then I get to reach so many people. So I get to talk to the fitness girl. I get to talk to the makeup girl. Even better if I get to talk to the makeup girl who loves fitness. Like the fact that it's all avenues. And then whatever, a lot of the questions that I was receiving in my inbox asking about like, what do you have to do to be a successful consultant? It literally comes down to show up, be consistent, and love the product. That's what it is. And like meeting people where they're at is probably one of the biggest blessings that you can have for yourself and for your team that is coming in, because it's like the reason why this weekend was different. I can tell you why it was different. I did not have to be, act, or fake anything to who I am. I am exactly who I am. There was no buffer, no in between. And I have attracted girls who love and appreciate that. And because I don't have to act a certain way or be a certain way, it wasn't
show up
exhausting.
a certain way. Yeah.
Yes, it was authentic and it was refreshing and it was just like reassuring that, hey, by the way, you are loved for exactly who God made you to be. And that right there, like, that's why it's different for me. It's no longer fake it till I make it and hope that my next rock star shows up and then I'll be successful. I'm successful right now. You're successful right now because we are showing up as ourselves. And that's actually the goal, friends. It's really hard to believe. It's hard to believe.
Like, we're telling our girls to show up as themselves. And like for so long, they've not been showing up as themselves. They felt like that
what they're talking about is the unspoken rules in MLMs, how to look, how to speak, how to talk, how to act, what not to talk about, stuff like that. And I've talked about it too. However, in my mind, when I picture Arbonne Huns, it's girls who look and act like this. And they're just super cute. Their makeup looks great, their hair looks great. But I don't think the sentiment of show up as yourself is necessarily different, because in my company, they tell you show up as yourself, be yourself. You need to stand out. But at the same time, the unspoken rules are still there that you're trying to adhere to. So it's very confusing. And I really don't believe that Arbonne is different. I bet it's just their team that they think is doing it different.
feel like yourself isn't good enough. And it's like, no, you were made this way. Like, you are exactly who you are supposed to be. So you need to show up as you, because that's going to attract your people. So
yep,
it's so good.
this weekend was just, it was so much more. I mean, honestly, it was so much more than we both planned. It was awesome. It was incredible. And like the whole weekend, it was kind of like, can you pinch us? Like, can we pinch each other? Because it just doesn't feel real to just be so loved for who we are, I guess. And then like, honestly, the exact same, like loving those girls who were there, because they're just like, I'm just so happy. I'm so thankful that I could help my cousin and my grandma and my aunt and my uncle. And it's like, could you do that previously? And for us, with our previous network marketing business, that wasn't the answer. And we were so focused on like what we could do to be successful, because then we were going to feel better, that we were literally missing out on so much of my life. And I know I can speak for you as well, that like your life at home has changed completely.
My life is so different, because I'm not like, I just think with Arbonne, you can, like, we've said this so many times, but like, I show up and I share my life, and Arbonne is a part of it. I have, if you guys don't know me, like I have 2 little girls. I have a 1-year-old and I have an almost 4-year-old. And like, my life is crazy chaos. My husband works crazy busy schedules, but it's like, I just show up and share my life, and I love these products so much. And the business part, like, because I was so stressed about my other business, I was so stressed about like seeing success and getting other people successful, but this, I just get to show up and be me, and it has blessed us in goodness.
I think what they were trying to say was that it's more product-based company instead of recruitment-based, which is not necessarily true, because those customers have to all go somewhere.
But it's immeasurably more.
Immeasurably
Immeasurably more.
Yeah, it is.
That's what I would say for me. And like, just the conversations that I have with people, and like the conversations that I have with my husband now is very different compared to what it was before. And he said it, one of his friends is actually the one who was finishing our drywall in our house. And the other day he was just like, so like, how is work going? I'm like, it's so good. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I don't know that I would have said that, except for when I was being successful, and I would have said it out of the thought of like, I need you to know that I'm successful. But now I'm like, it's so good because I just love what I do and I love what I share. And he was like, yeah, Michael told me that you're so much less stressed and you're so much happier. And I was like, he did. Like, it's not a you thing. Like, I mean that wholeheartedly when we say that. It's because it's like who you are and what you do affects everything. You guys think about this. If you had a really bad day at work, or maybe you dealt with someone who was really crappy or gave you a really bad attitude, 99.9% of us leave that situation, you go home, and then you keep that burden with you. And then your kid does something and you snap at them and you're mad. Now, I'm not telling you don't get mad anymore. But what I'm saying is sometimes what you are doing is actually fueling you enough. So then you're taking that same attitude and that same mood and bringing it to the rest of your life. So when you're wondering, girl, it's because it's given us an actual outlet and the light, and we're not carrying around what feels like a gunny sack, praying, like, man, I hope this works. I know it works because here I am showing up as the best version of me, and I'm attracting women who are like, that's exactly what I want to do. Like, it's not just how they want to be or feel, but they want to do the exact same thing because they know what it feels like to be a part of either another company or a job where it is truly draining you. And it's like, girl, I want to give you an outlet because you should be pouring out, not constantly having to be poured in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So good. I was trying to think if there's any other questions specifically from this past weekend. Let me see if there's anything else down here. Just see if there's one that we could answer. But like, it was incredible. It really was incredible. Does anybody have any questions specifically? If you do, it'll pop up at the bottom.
Just pop up. Because we only see like 4 things.
I know. It's just like literally like 2 answers.
I know. And
a lot of people like, I just love that. I love that for you. I love that. Well, we love it for us too.
And it might not be for you, but like, we know that we have to share because it might be for someone. Like, you know, if
I think that too, we've said that before. It's like our job in this is we're not sharing. We're not in the convincing business. That's for dang sure. It is very much like.
That feels so good because with where we were previously, I felt like we were always trying to convince people that like, this is what you need. This is what you
can do this.
And for this, we're like, I mean, if you want to do it, I would absolutely love for you to, but like, I'm going to be here showing up no matter what, like, because I genuinely love it. And like, you know, guys, with network marketing, you're going to have people quit all the time. Like, it's just inevitable. And previously, if someone would quit, I would feel crushed. Like, it was like, oh my gosh.
It was about me. Like, it was about me.
What did I do wrong? And I have already had people quit like this business, and I'm like, that's okay. Like, I still love you. And like, I'm not going to sit here and cry that you don't love this as much as I do. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my gosh, like my business is going down the drain because they left me. Like, what can I do better? I'm like, okay, I love you. It wasn't meant for you. Like, I can completely like bless and release those feelings are just not even. Does that make sense? Like, it's not even about
They're not
me.
even
I'm
there.
like,
oh, I know.
No, I'm like,
it's a totally different feeling. I think also like one of the biggest things, and we had that talk previously about like when someone would quit, it would be like, oh my gosh, what could I have done differently? And I love that you're saying like, I have also had girls quit.
I don't know if the culture is the same in Arbonne and whatever their previous company was, but in mine, we would say things like this, like bless and release. Okay, go and be blessed, bestie, in your ventures in life. But behind the scenes, we were telling our teams to block these people who quit or went to a different company. And people would expose secrets that they were trusted to keep. They would spread rumors, all kinds of stuff. And I don't know if they're the same. And I would like to think that these girls and this company is different, but for some reason, I just don't know.
I had girls quit this business. Like, you guys, it's not that this business is magic. It's that we decided that it gave us the magic that we've been looking for. And so like, I want to say that like, it's about what we have wanted and what we have prayed for and what we have worked on. And that doesn't mean that it's everything for everybody, but it could be. But you will never know until you try. And like what I always say, I'm like, what's the worst that's going to happen? You try the products. You don't like them. Okay, you're done. You try the products, you love them, and you decide that you want to share it. Okay, no one buys from you. But do you love the products? If the answer is yes, like, okay, so like you're literally not losing anything because then you're able to get the products that you are loving, how it's making a difference. But it comes down to the same thing over and over and over. It's the product.
I think that is a small number of people who actually like the products so much so that them not making sales doesn't have an impact, because then you would probably just have a customer account. account or just keep your distributor account for the discounts, but they're making it sound like it's just that easy to leave. The moment you join and you start getting on the team calls and stuff like that, it becomes more and more difficult to leave, and all the love bombing starts to kind of float away.
You have to love and believe in the products, right? And that's the biggest thing that you have to remember. I had a couple questions come through.
I see a husband. So my husband was very supportive. Kyra's husband was supportive. It was just scary. It was a scary transition for both of us, because when we left, oh my gosh, when we left where we were, that was like, you had to quit. Like, you had to quit and you no longer got a paycheck. So it was scary for us. It was scary for our husbands to be like,
my husband definitely took a longer time to, I won't even say convince. It was just and I will be very open, honest with this. I am the main income in our household. I was with our previous network marketing business. I am also with this network marketing business, but its earnings are arbonne.com if you want to know any income potential and availability.
I will say we're not typical, but
we are not typical. Our results are not typical, but our work ethic is not typical, and our goals are not typical. Right. But I was our main income. And so when I went to my husband and I'm like, I'm super unhappy.
I like how top leaders like to say stuff like this, because then when they turn it on you and they're like, well, you just don't want it bad enough. Well, you just didn't put in the work. Well, what kind of work? Were you doing quality work? And these results aren't typical because the work they put in isn't typical. That's kind of shitty, because people like me who did put in well above, I would say, typical effort into the business did not reap the rewards there. I think that there's always something behind the scenes that top leaders don't say, and there is, allegedly. It's not going to be the fluffy stuff that like they say on this call.
And it was probably like 2 months of off and on of just like, babe, like I really mean it. Like, I'm not happy. And it took one conversation sitting at a Cracker Barrel at brunch, and I was bawling my eyes out, and I looked him straight in the face and I said, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I cannot keep doing what I'm doing. And he saw the look in my eyes and he was like, okay, you're done.
And that
was,
I think
that
that's
was
something you have to ask yourself too, because, you know, we sat in those feelings for months. Like, I think Kendall was like 6 months old at the time, right? And for 6 months, like, it was my whole second child, like, we were going through this. And for 6 months we sat there, and when we were on the phone in that 45-minute conversation where we were just bawling to each other, it was like, and maybe this is something you have to ask yourself, but it's like, for 6 months, we've been trying to redo things. We've been trying to change things up. We've been trying and pouring our heart and soul just to be not appreciated and not feel good. And it's like, okay, if you continue to do what you're doing exactly today, will you be happy 6 months from now? And we were just both like, no, not even a little bit. Like, if I was still where I'm at 6 months from now, I would still be crying. And now I'm like, if you tell me I'm going to be here 6 months from now, I'm going to be like, okay.
I literally, okay, that's fine.
Is it because the newfound love for this company is like you're still in the honeymoon stage? Because for me, I don't want to invalidate their experience. But I know for me personally, anytime I would get a new job, the first couple weeks of that job, utter bliss. I love it. I love everyone I work with. Everything's great and dandy. And then like I start to notice the flaws and the ways things need improvement. So I wonder if in the future we will see them hop to yet another company, as so happens a lot of times with MLM Huns, and they will come up with some new excuse and reason for leaving and explain it away and try to, allegedly, sometimes they take their teams with them.
It truly is the best. And I really think that it is very much important to know that, like, it was a decision that we both made, and like, we discussed it with our husbands, obviously, but it was, they could tell, they could see, they were living in our lives. They knew what we were like. They knew how stressed we were. They knew how much it was like, it truly was draining us, because we had been trying for so long. And I need you to know that there wasn't like, it's just like,
it might have seemed to you guys on the outside. I know I had so many messages. They're like, what the crap? Like, what is going on? And I was like, well, I mean, that was obviously still my business, so I can't show up and act like I'm truly unhappy. But like, there's been a lot of things going on behind the scenes and a lot of feelings for a long time. Like, it might seem crazy to you, but like, something has been in the making for a while. So
Yeah, and it very much was what you guys saw was our decision, but you didn't see the trauma. Like, that's the best way to put it.
The trauma from their old MLM. In my opinion, I think they should be a little bit more specific and talk about, like, since they love being like, I'm going to be honest here. Okay, then be honest. Let's talk about, like, the trauma as much as they would want to talk about it, of course. But let's expose that if it's not a good company, and maybe it could save other people from joining that company in particular. Obviously, we do not expect people to talk about their traumas before they're ready. And if that is the case here, like these ladies are saying, they don't have to talk about it, but I think it would be beneficial when and if they're ready to talk about what happened in that company to prevent other people from going through the same thing.
You didn't see the behind the scenes, because when you don't have the exact answer, it's kind of like, you know, when you're going to move, you don't just burn your house down and then hope you have a new house. Like, you go, you find a new house and figure out, okay, how are we going to move? How are we going to get things packed up? And I think that some people felt very ill feelings towards us because, like, I didn't know. And it's like, but do people normally say that? Like, hey, by the way, I'm thinking of quitting my job. No, because then that job would fire you. So many jobs do that. And it was very similar to that. And so, like, I just want to tell you, like, to wrap this all up, is that our goal 1000% is to give you the borrowed belief if you need it. It is not to tell you that what we do is better. We're telling you we feel better.
We love it.
That's us.
We love it. And
that's for us.
10 times better. Yeah.
And
100%.
It's just a reminder that, like, if you're feeling tired and run down and you can look at yourself straight in the face and know wholeheartedly that you're showing up the absolute best that you can, you've tried everything that you can and you're not feeling well, this is my reminder to you that, like, girlfriend, it's not supposed to feel that way for that long. Okay. So
don't read
is there
the last
anything else?
comment. It'll make you cry.
Okay. Okay. I won't read it. No, but I have to, because if I don't read it, I don't get to see it.
Okay. Just read it.
It is different.
I think
that's
we
the
get
best
that message.
way.
We get that message all the time of, like, well, I don't know what Arbonne is or what kind of crack they're selling, but, like, you're so much happier. And I'm like,
so much happier.
And I genuinely feel it. Like, and for us,
and also just like getting a new job and getting a new relationship, I think, and you're in the honeymoon stage and they're so amazing and the rose-colored glasses are on, you're not seeing the red flags. Of course, you're going to seem happier. It is easier to say that in the beginning stages of a relationship or a new job. Interesting how both of those are very similar to this MLM situation.
I think, you know, I'm sorry, we're going to keep going. We've had a lot of conversations where people are scared to leave, maybe because of income, because, like, I mean, with Kyra, she was the head household moneymaker, and it's like, that's scary to leave. But it's also just, for us, I could not keep getting a paycheck, even though it was like supporting our family, even though the paycheck was supporting us and it was my full-time income. Like, I didn't care about the money because that wasn't fulfilling me.
I love this, like, plea to integrity here. Like, you are a top income earner in an MLM, which means your code of ethics cannot be that rigorous. I don't believe that for a second. It's not about the money. Yeah, I don't think so. I think if you're already doing something that is flawed, but it's making you good money, you're probably going to keep doing it for a while, unless it actually is traumatic, like they said. I would really like to know what they were talking about, though.
Like, I wanted to be happy, and I know with my work ethic, and I know with, like, my attitude, and I know I'm going to figure it out, and I know that I'm going to make it happen. So it was like, even though this is my income, like, I can't stay because I'm no longer happy. Like, it does not matter to me about the money. I'll figure it out.
And that's very much what we did jumping in. We didn't actually have an actual idea of what this was. Like, we didn't have all the ins and outs.
I had never even tried the product. I got on a call, and, like, the upline was talking to me, and I was crying on the call, and I was like, this is what I want. I don't know if it's going to work, but this is what I need. I hadn't tried the product yet, but here we are.
Best thing we've ever decided. I think that is what I love that is important for us, is that we really allowed ourselves to be like, I don't know what you need, but I'm going to try and nourish you the best I can. And we knew that what we were doing wasn't actually nourishing us. It wasn't making us grow. And it's very much like you said, if you can see yourself 6 months from now where you're at and repeating the same day that you're repeating right now, if that's not where you want to be, then like, this is your reminder. Take a step. I don't know what that step looks like, but just take a step to do something different, because you truly do. Someone just said it. You glow differently when you're happy. You really do. So I just want to say, like, first off, we had the best weekend. If you guys saw us, we have another event in July. So this is your sign right now. It's in Vegas. So if you're thinking about this, like, we would love to have you there, but like, this is just me saying it's because you want to be there. And like, I know that that's what a lot of people are craving, and I want that for you. I want fulfillment for you.
Goosebumps thinking about, like, this past weekend was so freaking incredible. I have goosebumps just thinking about Vegas and like what
how many people we're going to bring and how many lives are going to be changed on the way there.
I know. It's, oh my God. I literally, they're not going away. They're stuck.
I'm so proud of us. I'm so thankful for like all of that we do. I'm thankful that I get to do this with you. And we've had a lot of questions. Like, you guys run your business together. It's like, we're just best friends and we push each other the best way possible. Like, we will not let each other slack. We will not, like, we'll let you have your moments, but then we're like, all right, let's go. And, but like, I will say with this business, we haven't had those moments. Like, we haven't had the like, oh, just take a break. You need it.
You know, it will come. Like, I don't think a break is ever needed, but like, hard moments are going to come. Like, that is inevitable. We haven't had them yet, but I know that they're going to come. And I just, even like, because our great moments are so different than what they were before, like, the hard moments, I'm like, okay, but I've been through worse, you know, like I can get through this because I just genuinely love it. And like, yeah, it's going to be okay.
How many times did we say, like, when we were at our leadership retreat that we earned and were able to go on, like, the girls were talking about their business, and a lot of them, this was their first network marketing company. And like, I feel like both of us were like a kid at Christmas, just like staring at everything and everybody and how nice everybody was. No one was like, oh, well, I don't know you, so I'm not talking to you. It was like, oh my gosh, you're here. You're my friend. And they had no idea who I was. And it was so awesome. And, you know, we would get around people that we didn't know sitting at tables, and they would like ask your story. And like, when we tell them, I know, speaking for myself, and I'm sure for you as well, we would tell our story. They were just like jaw dropping. They were like, what do you mean? That's what they were like. What do you mean that's how you felt? I'm like, that's why you don't understand. Like,
you're so lucky.
Yeah, you guys are so lucky. Like, you're so blessed because this is incredible. I'm like, there's no way I could ever not love this, because it is just the most welcoming place I've ever been. The best thing I've ever been a part of. The community is actually real. The friendships are actually nice. And it's so good.
So loving. Like, when we walked in there, we didn't know a single soul. Like, okay, we maybe knew like 5 people, but we like didn't know a single person. There was 275 and we knew 5 of them. And previously, if you would walk in with our old company, I just felt like you'd be judged. If you're not a part of that team, then it's like, don't talk to me, don't sit with me. Like, I don't really want to associate with you because you're not on my team. But with this,
you're not benefiting me.
Yes. And with this, it didn't matter. Like, it didn't matter if you were a part of their team or not, because we weren't a part of anyone but our, you know, people's team. And it was like, oh my gosh, I love you. Like it was just so welcoming and so refreshing. It was so refreshing to know that like actual community does like exist. And I like pray, and I think we did. I think that's how we made our girls feel this weekend too. Of just like, hi, you matter.
I think that's easy to say when you're at the top of the company, and we're going to cut it off there because I'm done with this. It's gone on too long as it is. But I think it's easy to say when you're a top income earner. So people knew who you were from your old company, and I'm sure some people came along with them. So they know who you are. They obviously look up to you. And in this new company, I'm sure people heard of who you are, and then you rise up nice and high in this company too. I know that they're trying to come off as humble and just really nice girls, and I hope that's true. It sounds to me, the impression I'm getting, because I know how these companies are, that they feel this way because they're top leaders. So people obviously know who they are in their previous company and this new company. And when you're getting that type of attention as a top income earner, obviously it's going to feel good, and it's going to feel better than the last, because now more people are coming up to you from other teams, and it's not just this snooty snoo mean girl shit because you don't benefit me, I'm not going to talk to you kind of stuff. But let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and get a likesy poo. And if you super liked it, go ahead and share it with your besties. Make sure that you are subscribed, because my goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers so that one day I can get paid more for doing this than I ever did in my time in the alleged triangle-shaped business structure. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.